In the heart of 19th century Chicago, a man walked among the unsuspecting, his charm hiding a soul as dark as the shadows he cast. This is the story of H. Holmes, a name that evokes fear and fascination to this day. Welcome to Echoes of the Past today. We will dive into the chilling tale of H. Holmes. H. Holmes wasn't just an ordinary man, he was a carefully created monster, a mix of charm and cold-blooded planning. Behind the mask of a successful businessman, he was a predator with a love for the gruesome. His masterpiece was the World's Fair Hotel, a labyrinthine structure of death. With its secret passages, soundproof rooms, and gas-lined corridors, it was a killing machine disguised as a place of comfort. This architectural horror was his stage, and its guests, his unwitting actors. Holmes equipped some rooms with gas jets connected to a control panel in his own quarters. He would lock his victims in these rooms and fill them with gas, causing them to suffocate. Some victims were locked in soundproof and airtight rooms where they were left to die from lack of food and water. Holmes had a fascination with chemistry and often used poison to kill his victims. He would either poison their food or administer it directly. Holmes also killed victims by more direct means such as stabbing or mutilation. He had a dissection table in the basement where he would perform various forms of mutilation on the bodies. Holmes had a large kiln in the basement of the murder castle which he used to cremate the remains of his victims, making it difficult to identify them. Holmes designed the building with chutes and secret passages that allowed him to move bodies discreetly from one part of the building to another. Holmes's methods were particularly sinister because of the calculated and cold-blooded way he designed the building to be a death trap for his unsuspecting victims. But Holmes was more than a mere killer. He was a scientist of suffering, experimenting with poisons and dismemberment. He was obsessed with death, just as much as he loved life. The hotel was his experiment site, and the people staying there were his unwilling test subjects. In addition to his numerous murders, H. Holmes was involved in a wide range of criminal activities. His crimes were not limited to murder but included a variety of schemes and illegal actions that showcased his cunning and unscrupulous nature. Holmes was finally arrested in Boston on November 17, 1894. His arrest was initially for a horse theft in Texas, but suspicions quickly grew about his involvement in multiple murders. Following his arrest, investigators uncovered a series of insurance fraud schemes, but more disturbingly, they discovered the true extent of his crimes at the murder castle in Chicago. Bodies were found along with evidence of gruesome experiments and tortures. Holmes was put on trial for the murder of Benjamin Petzel, one of his accomplices in the insurance scams. The trial began on October 28, 1895. The evidence against Holmes was overwhelming, and he was found guilty of Petzel's murder on November 4, 1895. While awaiting execution, Holmes confessed to 27 murders, though many of these confessions were later found to be either exaggerated or outright lies. He also claimed to have killed victims in various locations across the United States. H. Holmes was sentenced to death and was hanged on May 7, 1896, at the Moyamensing prison in Philadelphia. His execution marked the end of a chilling chapter in American criminal history.